Hello, beautiful souls. Erica here. I am a psychic medium, a spiritual guide, and a coach. And I support people in their connection to their higher self, to their intuition, and to living with more purpose. And today, I'm going to be talking about the 3D reality versus the 5D reality and how we connect to higher dimensions and what are some of the differentiations per se. So, let's talk about the 3D matrix, right? We all talk about 3D and what it's like to be in a 3D world. And it all has to do with the physicality, it all has to do with the material things that we perceive. It is not only material per se, we also perceive our mental and emotional state in this reality. So when we identify as the job that we have, as the position that we have, as the mother or as the person in the business, the breadwinner, whatever it is, like the house that I own, the car that I own, like that tends to identify people that live in this reality. So it's very limited because we also identify a lot with judgment. We identify with things that are dual, like good, bad, right, wrong. And there is no much of a gray area. There is like, is it this or is it that? So there is a lot of identification with external things, and you feel separate. You don't feel connected to source. You don't feel connected to the divine. You don't feel connected to the all that is. There is a separation. There is a separation of others. You see others as the other, their gender, their skin color, their financial status, all of that matters. And then you make a clear differentiation of is this and is that. So there is no blending, there is no connection. There is that very divided stance in life of this is here and this is there. Or I am here and that is there. There is not that oneness, there is not that unison with all that is. So that's a clear differentiation of the 3D. And I wanted to touch a little bit on the 4D because some people talk about it, some people are aware of this. And in my awareness, this is just remind you that this is my own experience, what I'm sharing. You don't have to agree, use always your own discernment. But for me, the 4D is like this hallway. It's like a transitional hallway where we can connect the 3D and the 5D reality. For me, there is a lot of other beings and from other realities and from other dimensions simultaneously living in this kind of like a transitional hallway. It's like, think about it, radio signals. How many radio signals are in your space right now? Let's say in your living room, there are hundreds. And how many can you radio device tune into at once, right? Probably one. So that is the same thing. It's not like they don't exist. It's like more like you don't see them, you don't perceive them. They are there, but you don't have the perception to receive them, to know, to have that awareness. So you perceive what you see when you can touch. Some people can connect with airbounds, with dead people, with other beings from other dimensions, from other realities that coexist with us. It's just that if we turn that dial, we can maybe perceive them and have the awareness that they're there. And we coexist with multiple realities at once. And sometimes people can have like glimpses here and there what's happening, and that confuses people, and they call it paranormal and all of these things. But in reality is that they're all there. They're always been there. It's just that, are you fine-tuned to perceive them or not? And that's when we call mediums because they're connection, the bridge between the dead and the alive. And they can also perceive other beings from other dimensions, what we call as aliens or beings of light. So I just wanted to touch a little bit on that. Also, for me, the 4D is also a limiting state since it's focused more on the mental. I am my mind, whereas the 3D is like I am my body, my physicality, my what I have, what I own, my things. I am my mind is more about the mental state as you perceive yourself, as how smart, how superior you are. You know more about Illuminati, the government, and all this thing, and you want to tell everybody, and you feeling like you know more, and they're asleep, and you're here, and they're there, and there's still that disconnection, but it's closer, getting closer, because the other thing is that we don't stay always at one reality. We move simultaneously and go move from one to the other, and eventually we'll stay put in one reality, but we move through 3D, 4D, 5D, and so forth. So it's not like stagnant and you decide to stay there forever. It's ever changing. So for the 4D, is like, I want to tell the world is unfair, all of this matters, and there's still the disconnect. There's no unison with the world and with all that is. And there is that self-righteousness kind of that you want to impose on others. Like, my viewpoint is this, am I right? And I want to share with the world, and I'm going to tell the truth. Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you my truth. And it's still that separation. Whereas the 5D is a completely different reality. It's a completely different perception, because all of these realities, they're not physical places per se. They are perceptions that are within you, how you perceive yourself in the world. So everyone, you can be in a room with multiple people, and there's people living in 3D, there's gonna be people in transition in the 4D, and there are people that already embody their 5D reality. The 5D reality is more unity consciousness. We are connected to source, we are connected to everything, we are connected to all that is. There is no judgment of I am better, I have this, you have that color, I have this, and there's none of that. And as a matter of fact, I had a great example that I experienced a few months back since I moved out of the States into Spain. So I was at the market, and I've been going to the market for some time, and the markets are beautiful. They're full of the diverse fruits and vegetables and meats and all kinds of things that you can imagine. It's so colorful. It's so delightful for me, at least, to experience them. And we always go to the same place to buy. And there was a big line, because there always is. And it's patience. Like, you wait, and you wait for your turn, and you quietly wait till everybody's served, and then it's time for you. And we were waiting, I was with my partner, and there was a lady literally next to me, an older lady next to me. And then she said something that it kind of like I processed later, that she was talking about us, like we were tourists and something around those lines. I didn't fully, and I was literally there, and she was like really loud. She was saying something mean about us, that because this is like many other countries that are experiencing a lot of people moving in and tourists making everything expensive, and I get it, I understand it. And she said something along those lines, really mean. And the person that is always serving us, he knows us by name, we've been going for some time, he got offended. He got offended, and he was like defending us and all of this. And that's what I really like, oh, she's talking about us and what's going on. But she was literally next to me. The old me in the older paradigm, in the 3D matrix, I'll be like very reactive. I'll be like all nervous in my stomach, and oh, let me tell her 1, 2, 3. Let me put her in her place, right? And create this tumult. She's wrong, I'm right. Let me show her that she's wrong, and all of this, right? So this is a clear example, but I was not even aware, because I live in that moment, in that space, in a different reality. I was not connected to the drama, bonding, to all of that limitations, to all of that illusions. I was not participating in that. I was in another reality, and I didn't even engage. I didn't even say anything. And I just looked, and I just looked at her, and I looked at him. My husband was so confused. He was like, what just happened? Because he doesn't speak Spanish. He's like, what's going on? And he kept asking questions. I was like, I think this is what transcended. I don't know. And it was very interesting, because you can see your own growth, how things change over time. I was like, oh my gosh, the old me would have reacted immediately, and that wouldn't be an issue. And we would still be discussing back there with that older lady. And it's like, this is how you get to see the difference. Like, she was stuck in the 3D matrix, and I was just completely loving her, because like, I honor her experience. I'm not making her wrong. She's frustrated, she's sad. Yeah, I see you, I feel for you. But I don't have to participate in that. I have a choice. And I'm gonna send you love and understanding. And I'm gonna disconnect and disengage from all those tentacles and tendrils and that we are creating when we are creating this drama. Because we feel dense, don't we? We feel heavy. We don't feel like ourselves after all of these interactions. And then it keeps playing in our mind. Oh, yeah, I was right. And I should have said this, and I should have said that. And really that keeps us in lower harmonics. So when we start moving into 5D unity consciousness, we see us all as one. So there's no separation. It's just not wrong. It's not right. It's just like, that's her perception. I have my own perception. And it's so good. It's not focused on let me put it in a place. Let me tell you the truth. Let me tell you my truth. I honor your truth. I honor your beingness. And I honor mine. But still, there is no separation, where we all come from the same source. But we honor whatever differences that might arise at the moment, knowing that everything is ever changing. Nothing stays the same. That woman may be a day before, or maybe a few hours later, she wouldn't probably feel so reactive. So in her nervous system was probably not regulated. Like, who knows, right? Like, we're always changing too. Our energetics, our mood, our emotions, like we are always fluctuating. And we also, when we are aware that of these different realities, we move from one to the other. It's not like I'm always like, whoa, that's my wish and my desire that I stay more in unity consciousness. But yeah, I go to the old self sometimes momentarily, and I catch myself, oh, is this a judgment or is this an awareness about something that I saw or about something that somebody said? And then I have, is this an awareness? And I ask myself inwardly, is this an awareness or is this a judgment? Am I judging this occurrence? What is going on? And this is what it takes. It takes observation. It takes observation of your own thoughts, of your mental state, of your energy. And I always tell my clients, the most important thing that you can do is know your energy baseline. You know your energy baseline, and then you know almost immediately when something is off, when something doesn't feel right, because we are beings that have a big electromagnetic field. So when we interact with others, that the planets influence us, the water influence us, the moon, the tides, like we are influenced by it, the solar flares, the electromagnetism of the earth, like we fluctuate, everything is in movement, everything is changing. So if we know more or less what is your energetic baseline, then you get to know yourself better, and then you know when something is off, and then you get to regulate yourself, because that is the most important thing too. As we are moving through this higher consciousness and higher awareness, it's like, ooh, let me regulate myself, because there is moments of when the shadow wants to come out, right? When the old patterns are always of being want to come out, and they're ready to be transmuted, but what are you doing, right? So this is, in my awareness, some important differentiations of these dimensions and these realities, that they don't exist in any physical plane. They exist in our perception, in our emotional body, in how we feel about ourselves, and how we feel and how we connect with the world. Where we connect with the 3D, the matrix, and the 3D reality is limiting. Don't we feel like, oh, it's very physical, it's very judgy, it's very heavy, it's like, it's this or it's that. It's not more of a greater area. And people that are trapped in the 4D reality, they're just trapped in teams in the mental space, and I just want to talk about omnis, and I just want to talk about entities, and I just want to talk about this and like that, and like, yeah, that is a great awareness, but it's not for you to stay there. It's a momentarily whole way for you to acknowledge that, yes, we're not alone. We're not alone. And keep moving on and connect to higher dimensions, connect to higher realities, connecting to in my awareness, this planet was originally 5D. and then it got hijacked into a 3D matrix that has a lot of illusions and booby traps and imprints and stuff to keep us really more like enslaved and living and reliving in these cycles of lower harmonics, so that we are producing this density that gets to be harvested by other beings that benefit from it, that have their own agendas, that benefit from these lower harmonics again and again and again, feeling fear, feeling desperation, feeling separate, the dividedness in this world, like this and that, and rich and poor, and all the things. So my intention with this was for you to analyze yourself, analyze your thoughts, and create some spaciousness without judgment, and just observe where you are at a given time, right? Remembering that we move back and forth from one to the next, and remembering that we always can move higher and higher and higher to higher levels of awareness and higher levels of understanding ourselves, others, and the universe. So yes, honor where you're at, but know that you can always move to a higher, more supportive, beneficial space that feels more calm, more balanced. Because another thing of the 3D matrix is that I find in a lot of clients that are in that mindset is that there's a lot of physical issues with the body. The body is so constricted, the body is so tired, the body is overwhelmed, stress, there's depression, there is migraines, there's anxiety that is created in this reality because it's too heavy on the body. Those densities, these lower harmonics, these heavy emotions, again and again and again, you feel it, don't you feel it? Like sometimes it's like the stomach ache, the stomach constriction, and all of that. And if it's like this mental heaviness, it's too much work, too much doing, you are so much in the doing, it creates constriction, because we're not meant to be just doing. We are meant to be. We are meant to just exist and have moments of calmness and have moments of rest and restoration and nourishment. But we focus so much on like, I gotta produce, I gotta do, I gotta just show my strength. I have to show that I am capable. I have to show, and it's all about showing. You're not honoring the self. So that's what I see with a lot of clients, that there is a lot of constrictions in the body because of for how many years or decades you have been in that, not moving much from one reality to the other, so just kind of staying put. So when we start being aware of like, yes, I'm not all the flesh, not more the 5D, the 4D, that is like, oh, there's other beings, and that is like, okay, so what am I? That is starting with that curiosity that the people experience that existential crisis, or they call it the like death and rebirth, these cycles, and like, okay, like observing it, everything crumbles and everything collapses, and you are observing the illusion and for calling it for what it is, and that is a great awareness. But it's not for you to read everything that is, to go in a rabbit hole and discover, yes, all the things that the government has been doing and to manipulate us and control us and like cause more fear and more constriction. It's like, it's for you to be aware that that exists. And how can you coexist in this paradigm knowing that? So that is not gonna be your limitation. But some people become obsessed with this and they just go down a rabbit hole, and that make them, that's who they are. They're just going to dismantle everything and show everybody and tell everybody, and that's where they are. So if you are curious and if you really want to expand from there, it's like, okay, how could I use this information? And when I get a chance, I sprinkle some truths, let's just call them, here and there, and just awarenesses, my awareness, those truths, and sprinkle here and there, but I don't have to be obsessed, because that obsession also creates a frequency band that is limiting, right? But if we move more into how can I use this for the highest good of all, and how this can be in contributions to others, knowing what I know, and move forward with this information and move more into, okay, I want to connect, I want to express myself in higher realms and higher dimensions and connect more deeply with myself and with others. So breaking up all the barriers, all the walls, and all the limitations that we feel that we are disconnected, because in truth that we are more connected than we think. And it's just having that awareness. And this is interesting because I have clients, and I have experienced myself this many times, that they go into public places, whatnot, bus rides or whatever, and they're like, oh my gosh, everybody's touching me. Like they just want to touch me, or like people just stare at me, or people just tells me all these beautiful things out of the blue. And I don't know. And it's like, yes, because they perceive your field, they perceive you vibrating different, but they just don't know. Maybe they don't have the awareness to say, what is it about you that is so, I just want to touch you, I just want to be with you, and I just let me get some of it. And this gets to happening, like I talk about the quantum field that is so shared, and we are more interconnected than we think. Every time we do processes with my clients, I invite them to expand their field, so they make all those achievements that they have embodied, make them available for others in the quantum field of possibilities of all that is, so that others can receive it on their own timing when they're ready. So we do these practices and we see them again and again and again, that people are tapping into it and people are receiving and people are benefiting. So yes, your work in yourself impacts others, because we are all connected. So the more you work on yourself, the more you're gonna see changes in the world. It's not like I need to change the world, I need to change my partner, my mother, my this. No, they don't change. You change. And how they perceive you, and if they want to receive you, because some people, honestly, they're just blocked. They don't want to receive you, and that's okay. That's where they're at, and you have to accept it. But if you can keep spreading that, what you have embodied, making it available for others, and just loving yourself and loving others unconditionally and accepting where they are, your life is just gonna be so different. And you're gonna feel so different, because you're not fighting against the grain. You're not fighting to make others accept you or understand you or anything. You're just not fighting. You're in complete surrender. You're in complete acceptance. So that is a different way of being. Not being in resistance of others. Being completely in flow. I see you, I understand you. I understand where you're at. And that's all good. Understanding that eventually they're gonna move on. Not gonna stay stagnant there forever. And we always changing too. So I want to leave you with that. Leave you a little bit of homework for you to continue your exploration and noticing where you're at, noticing how you move from one to the other, and just observing. There's no, oh my gosh, I gotta be, and this is the pinnacle, like this is what I gotta be. No, like just observe, because we have these natural processes that we go through evolution, and we all gonna get there eventually. There's a lot of people vibrating in these higher frequencies already, and making it available for us, making it available to others, that yes, it's possible. Yes, we need to be connected to that bandwidth of higher consciousness, so that we can all go there and have an easier, more fun, more purposeful, more joyful life. Not in resistance, not in fight, not destroying our nervous system, not disconnecting with that from our body, completely in flow, with amazing well-being, amazing strength in your physical body. So it is all possible. So it's a matter of like having the desire, having the curiosity, and having the time to really dedicate time for yourself and to ask those questions. So I really wanted to leave you with that. Thank you so much for, if you follow all the way, you listen all the way, sending you all the love. And if you want to hear more content like this, please subscribe. I will also love to see your comments or things that you would like to know more about. I'm just redoing my YouTube channel, so I want to put more intention and put more things that are supported for people, that people are curious about, and talk more about my experience, because in reality I have over 20 years in the healing arts, and I have a lot of things that I haven't shared, and I still want to share. And I would love you to be here more often and subscribe, and let me know if there is things that you would like to know more of. Sending you so much love. I love you all, and until next time. Thank you.